The gang phenomenon in Los Angeles has inspired an entire generation to grab a rag, get strapped, and represent their clique. Movies such as Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and Colors have given mythical status to the Los Angeles gang scene. But what exactly are these street soldiers fighting for? Fez hits the deck and finds out the real deal from OGs and experts that were there from the beginning.
Be good out there.
Alejandro Alonso is a leading authority on Los Angeles gangs and the founder of StreetGangs.com. He's been researching and documenting LA street gangs for the past 10 years.
Statistically, there are about 1,000 individual street gangs in Los Angeles County. In terms of Bloods and Crips, there's about 275 Blood and Crip gangs. That breaks down to about 200 Crip gangs and about 75 Blood gangs. All the gangs together in LA County come out to between 100 and 150,000 members. And in terms of homicides, in 2002, there was a little over 650 gang-related murders in the city of LA, not the county of LA, just the city of LA. The origins of the Crips and the Bloods, that goes back to about 1969, 1970, and it developed out of the political era of the 1960s locally in Los Angeles. And it pretty much all began as a resurgence of the old gangs from the 50s when the political power structure and the black leadership in LA was pretty much decimated, assassinated, killed off, and left a power vacuum for young kids to organize again. And what developed out of that were the Bloods and the Crips around 1969-70.
Well, we didn't really have the mindset of the Black Panthers because we didn't really feed the people like the Panthers did. You know, we were community-based and backed, and what we wanted to do was help the community. But we couldn't help the community because they had said that we were organized crime. Said that we were just bad to the bone.
The Jungle, setting of the 2002 film Training Day and home to a triple OG that GQ magazine called the man that helped introduce crack cocaine to America.
We had the unexpected pleasure of being titled 10 Most Wanted Gang Leader in South Central Los Angeles. I did that for a couple of years. Right now, I run my own company. I'm the CEO of my own company called Sidewalk University. I've been shot 4 times, stabbed twice, had more fights than Mike Tyson, and never got paid for none of them. None. So I've been there, done that. You want to know the real about what the real is? Then come talk to the real. I'm going to tell you the real. Where we at right now is Baldwin Village. It's the jungle. It's one of the communities in California. All blood. This is a blood sanctuary. Bloods come here to hang out. Now, I'll tell you something that's funny, is that everybody in the beginning of this wore blue rags. Everybody. So we had to find a way that would distinguish ourselves from the Crip. The way we did that was by a red rag. The red rag symbolizes the blood that we have shed. The white that's in the red symbolizes the celestial bodies, the stars, the heavenly bodies. And the black represented us as black people.
Down in the valley on Sepulveda Boulevard, what seems like a million miles away from the jungle, a former pimp and true OG, Mike Conception, sheds light on the other side. Confined to a wheelchair as a result of a shooting over a $38 gambling debt, he knows all too well how senseless the game can be.
Yeah, I'm Mike Conception. I'm from West Side, you know, West Side of LA and stuff. You know, I'm one of the OG Crips, you know what I mean, from way back in '69. One of the guys who created it.
Raymond Washington kind of single-handedly started what I call the Cribs, C-R-I-B-S, not C-R-I-P-S, in 69, late 69, early 70. And then Jamel Barnes and Stanley Williams continued this Crib identity, but then it started to change into this Crippin' around 72, 73. But there were other guys that were there in the beginning, like Batman Davis, Mike Conception.
Raymond and them, they was in another a gang called the Avenues. They left the Avenues, you know, because of a certain situation, and they just started calling themselves the Crips. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember no reason or no why they started calling themselves the Crips. Everybody coming up with their own assumption, but I know that at the time that we started and got it formed and made it into what it is today, it wasn't no reason, it just was a name.
The first casualty in this long war happened at this Hollywood nightclub in the early 70s.
Well, the first gang killing among this resurgence that started around 69, 70 was in 1972 when Robert Bilal was killed at the Hollywood Palladium over his leather coat when about 20 up-and-coming Crip members physically assaulted him for his coat, and subsequently he died from the physical assault the following day.
The reason why we aligned ourselves with the Bloods instead of the Crips was the Crips had killed a boy by the name of Robert Bilal up at the Palladium. They beat him to death over a leather coat. We couldn't see no justification in that.
In Compton, Big Hub and the homies tell us what's up in the hood.
From Compton Boulevard to Rosecrans to Alameda, that's how big our hood was at first. Now it's expanding farther now.
One time, Compton PD said they used to hear the gunshots and wait till they finish shooting, then they'll come. Martin Luther King Hospital have the best bullet wound doctors in the United States of America. They have the best trauma in the United States of America. You know why? Because this is Gunshot City. I seen death at my eye 4 or 5 times.
LA gangs have left the sunny streets of California and headed east, with affiliates popping up in cities across the U.S. and even overseas.
Other cities been forming Crips and Bloods since about the late 1980s. It started really with West Coast cities like Las Vegas, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, San Diego, San Francisco. They got Bloods and Crips in Germany. They got Bloods and Crips in Holland. They got Bloods and Crips in Paris. I travel all over the world, and I can tell, real LA gang members have been here. And then other times I can tell that these guys are copying something they saw in a magazine article or something they may read in Feds magazine. Really, since the early 90s, you're starting to see, a whole lot of West Coast cities, East Coast cities. And when I mean East Coast, east of the Mississippi, places that you never thought you'd see Bloods and Crips, like in D.C., in Philly, and even in New York.
New York in particular has become a hotbed for LA gang activity, with leaders like OG Mac bringing the Bloods to the East Coast.
Again, I say that's the mentality of a child. A grown man would have more responsibility